Let's make nut-free macarons. So to make your nut-free macarons, the base of these macarons is our rice flour. And because rice flour is really nice and white, we're going to stick to that theme today and just do a completely natural macaron. So first off, we're going to start sifting our dry ingredients, that being our rice flour and our confectioner's sugar. And just sift that into a bowl. Now that's sifted, we can set that aside and work on our vegan meringue. So I've already measured out the water needed for this recipe. So to make your vegan meringue, we are using our gerbe, which is the potato protein blend today. And to that, we're going to add a spoonful of our sugar measurement for our meringue. Oops. And just give that a little stir, and this is going to help disperse those powders so everything dissolves a little more easily. Now, as always, when we're making a smaller recipe, you can just beat this up with your hand beaters. So that's what I'm going to do. Now we've got our gerbe and a little bit of that sugar in there. We're going to beat everything for a couple of minutes, just on a low speed, so all of those powders get dissolved. Once that's been mixed well, we're going to add a third of our remaining caster sugar and beat on a medium speed until we get to the soft peak stage. Now we've reached the soft peak stage, we're going to gradually add our remaining sugar, 1 spoonful at a time, whilst beating on a medium to medium high speed until we get to the stiff peak stage. Now that we have nice stiff peaks on our meringue, we can just remove our beaters. Now we can add our dry mixture. So I'm going to just give this a little bit of a whisk so everything's nicely incorporated. And I'm going to add half of my dry mixture to my meringue. And we're just going to start folding everything through. Now continue adding your remaining dry ingredients. Okay, now once everything's mixed through, we can do our macaronage, so deflating our batter until we get the right consistency. Once you get the consistency that you are looking for your macarons, we are going to transfer to a piping bag. Pipe our macarons, we've got it into our piping bag now, sheet of baking paper and our guide. So I'm just going to put a little bit of our batter on the guide, just to help stick our baking paper. And we're going to pipe in the center until we're almost to the edge, and then stop, and then flick, and then continue on. Okay, now we can transfer it to our tray. Just pop a little bit of your batter into the tray and then slide over. And clip these guys down so they don't fly away in your oven. And we're going to give them a good tap underneath to get nice smooth tops. Okay, so that looks good. Now I'm going to put some white coconut, so untoasted coconut, untoasted, unsweetened, on the top. Okay, now we're going to set these aside for their tops to dry. And we're going to pipe our remaining batter onto our last sheet of baking paper. Now you can dry your macaron shells outside, however I'm going to be using my oven to speed up the process, and just set it to a low temperature around 30 to 35 degrees Celsius with a fan. And we're going to dry it until we can get a nice skin on top, and this can take anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes. Now that we have nice dry tops on our macarons, we can pop these in our preheated oven to 135 degrees Celsius for 5 minutes to develop their feet. Now our macarons have developed their feet, you want to open the door to your oven just a crack, and we're going to let this cool down for 5 minutes before we continue baking at our lower temperature. So it's been 5 minutes, we're going to get our oven back on. So we're going to set it to 100 degrees Celsius. And we're going to do the time for about 15 minutes, and then we'll check it after that. So 100 degrees, minutes, and then we'll check them to see if they need a little bit more time. Let's check our macarons, see if they are ready. So we want to see that they're starting to lift off the paper, and I can see they're already lifting off. So that looks good. Let's take one from the center. See, if they are still sticking just slightly, that's not a problem. So we're going to remove these trays. Check this tray. Yep, these look good. Beautiful. Yep, these ones are lifting off too. And these ones too. All right, so we can set those aside to cool down before we transfer those into filling, or you can put them in the freezer. So we're just gonna let those cool off on our trolley or on your cooling rack. I've got them over here, cooling. And we will come back to finish them off. Remove your macarons out of the freezer if you have done so, or after if they've cooled, and we're going to start matching them up. Now it's time to fill your macaron shells. Ensure you keep a hole in the center. sprinkle your macaron centers. Match your macaron shells back up, sandwich them together. And transfer to a tray. Now seal your container or tray well and transfer to the refrigerator to mature overnight for 24 hours before enjoying.